Hi, you did an amazing job on your file right here. Let me click on this. You did an amazing job on this. Just an amazing job. What I want to do is to bring a background into this picture here and just let you see what you can do with adding a background. And I've created a new path here on the bottom just for extending his coat sleeves so he looks more complete, and then I'm going to fill that up. So I want to show you a couple of things by making this a bigger image, okay, meaning so I can show that background a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is go to select, image canvas size, not image size, but canvas size, and I'm going to use this pictorial here to add to the left side, right side, and top. Now, how do you do that? Well, if I click the bottom center icon here, it will only add, see how it's telling you it will only add to the left, to the right, and to the top. Okay, so I'm going to take this and make the width a little longer, like instead of 29 inches, I'll make it something like 36 inches. And instead of 41 on the height, I'll go to 45 on the height. And those are just arbitrary numbers, okay? So you see how I've made that bigger so I can show the background that I want to in a fun way, okay? And then the white doesn't really matter, although I could just click on this white layer here and put white in the foreground color by hitting the X key, and then just hit Option or Alt Delete or Backspace, and you can see how I've now made the white even go to the edge of the screen. So I'm going to save the file. Could not save. Let me rename it. Maybe because it's locked or something, but let me just rename this as edited. Okay, now, and that's a clue for you. Sometimes in Photoshop doesn't like a file, just save as and just change the name, okay? Now, what I want to do is above this layer here, I'm going to put in this background. So I just went and found a fun background. You can go Google it, you can Google images, but there's a fun background. So I'm going to right-hand click and just duplicate that layer to my edited file. See how I did that? And now, if I close this, I should have that background there. Now all I have to do is just fit it. So it just looks kind of fun. And it went in, because I had this layer selected, it went in automatically here, but you could just shift it and move it where you want, okay? So I'm going to hit Command T, whoops, wrong thing. And that's a good thing to show you. I was selected on this layer and I wanted to transform this background, but I had a path selected over here, see it? So Photoshop thought that I wanted to actually transform this path. So how do I get out of that? Well, I want to hold Command or Control because I can't click to the bottom of this path, okay? So I have to deselect this over here. So if I hold Command or Control on a PC or Command on a Mac, I can click that, and you see how it turned it off? Didn't get rid of it, it just turned it off. Okay, so now I can select this layer and hit Command or Control T, and now it's wanting to do what I want it to do. Now I'm going to hold the Shift key so I can distort this background. It doesn't really matter if I distort it or not, and you can see how he looks kind of good, but his shoulders look funny, okay? So what I'm going to do is hit the Return key, find his shoulder here. See how his right jacket and left jacket, which you did brilliantly. I'm going to make a selection of that right here, and I'm going to hit Command or Control H to hide the selection. Now this is his left side, your visual right side. Okay, so, and you were correct when you said left jacket. So I'm going to select this and only paint over here, but I'm going to hit Command or Control H to hide the selection. Now, if I just grab the B key, I don't even have to clone this, so I can just grab that color, and then I'm making my brush somewhat bigger, and my flow is 25, so see how I can just add to this, and I'm just going to add his jacket on this side. Now I have that nicely done. Now with the same selection, if I hit Command or Control H, you can see the selection is still active. I'm going to click to his right jacket, and now I'll add it over here. Now he kind of feels better in there. Now, what I probably should do is add a little bit of darkness, just some fun to this background. Okay, so I'm going to add a layer above it and put it on a mode of multiply, so it's transparent. And then I'm going to just add a blue-black to the bottom just to give it some fun. Okay, so I'll just take this and whoops, I have to deselect. Silly me, I had his jacket on still. See? Okay, so I'm going to deselect, meaning I had his jacket selection active. Now I'm going to deselect so I can paint on this background and just add a little bit of darkness to the bottom so that it kind of separates. And then I'll add a little bit of energy to around his character. So even though now you can't hardly see the jacket difference between that and the city I've put in, I'm going to add another layer right there. And then all I have to do is just add a little bit of energy, a pretty energy, like a blue, or even a little bit. I'll try to change the color, but watch how neat this is. I'm going to put a hue and saturation adjustment layer on this, and I can adjust it. So look at how I'm just going to add a little, whoops, that's way too harsh. Let me take the flow down to 10 and make sure when I right click that I'm all the way soft. Okay, hit the return key, and now I can add a little bit of power around his character here. There, that kind of looks pretty. And let's do it to this side. I'm just adding a little bit of an energy glow because he's so powerful as a agent of I actually forget. Men in Black, I can't remember the name of the their little secret organization. So now I have a little bit of energy, and I'll even take it up and around his ear and a little bit on his head. And now if you want to experiment, I'm going to add or if I wanted to experiment and just see if a different color is going to look better, okay, I'm going to save the file, and I'm going to add a hue and saturation layer, which I will clip to this right here. So I'm holding Alt or Option, and I'm clipping that so it only affects the purple. Now I can take, by double clicking that to bring up the properties menu right here, I can just shift it, and you see how I can actually make that look better. Actually, this blue that I'm making it right there looks really cool. The magenta didn't work, but who cared? I could just add a hue and saturation adjustment layer, and there is a fun background with starry filled skies waiting for the next alien to appear. So I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to save as a JPEG and send you the JPEG. So I just wanted you to see that. You did an amazing job. You're very talented. Everything you did allowed me to do what I wanted to do, which was cool. And I don't want to save it in 3D. Yes, I do. 3D, no. I want to save it in the caricature one. Yes, so I'm going to save that JPEG right there, and then I'll send it to you. Okay? Great job. Thank you.